Uh, I guess by way of introduction, as Bowie said, Saha and I moved into uh, Short Hills a couple of years back, and we've been at Christ Church since then. Um, we actually both grew up in very different households. I grew up in a non-Christian home and was introduced to Christianity in my Catholic primary school, really. So the equivalent of elementary school back home in Nigeria. And Saha, on the other hand, grew up in a home with devout Christians that were very active in church. The common theme, however, in both of our households was the emphasis placed on generosity, which is fundamental to our view on our stewardship journey. Generosity on several fronts, with respect to one's time, with respect to one's talents, and with respect to one's financial resources. Stewardship, in our view, is about fulfilling God's purpose for us here on earth. We are called to God to be co-workers and collaborators with Him on earth, which eventually is to help further His kingdom. It was critical for us when we moved into town to find a church that we could call home. We remember the first day at church and how we were given a very warm welcome by everybody. In particular, during the coffee hour session, we were approached by several members of the church and made to feel right at home. In our minds, it's an essential part of the service where we get to socialize and get to know each other. It is why we volunteered to host on several occasions. And when Patty moved out west, Saha was more than happy to take over her role as coordinator of the coffee hour. While the Zoom coffee hours are great, there's nothing like a good old-fashioned in-person coffee hour, in my view, where we have the kids and some adults like myself scrambling for goodies. We very much look forward to when we can all get back to church. Saha and I also joined the ushering team, which again, church hospitality, we think was critical in our decision to make Christ Church our home. We were inspired by some of the members of the ushering team that have been volunteering tirelessly for several years. I'm also part of the lay reading team, while Saha helps with the altar guild setup. But not last but not least is the financial resources aspect in the form of pledging, which we think is extremely important. The church does a lot of amazing work getting involved in initiatives that provide for the less fortunate. And it's vital, especially in this pandemic era, to be able to keep up all that awesome work. On a final note, our faith is an important part of our identity as a family. Understanding and living out our purpose as God's co-workers here on earth will also help us guide our kids, Toby and Tomiwa, on their journey to fulfilling God's given purpose. It is especially important to us that our children prioritize this as they get older, and we see no better way of achieving that than certain examples for them, as our parents did for us while we were growing up. Thank you very much.
Thank you.